Hi, I'm Sheilaa Hite, world-class astrologer, tarot master, spellcaster, medium, and all-around magical being. And I'm here today to talk to you about this week's astrology. The key word and the key energy for this week is intensity. This is an extremely intense week. Intensity doesn't mean it's awful or it's bad or it has to be awful or bad. Intensity means that things are on high alert. What things? Emotions, thoughts, fears, and feelings. The planet Mercury on Monday, the planet Mercury, how we think, how we communicate, is square, making an abrasive frictional aspect to the planet Saturn, the planet of responsibility, also the planet of authorities and being in charge, whether somebody asks you to be in charge or not. So there will be this day in your personal life as well as in your life. There will be people, circumstances, situations that are going to demand that you shut up, going to demand that you think the way they think. If that does not work for you, don't do it. Venus, the planet of relationships, diplomacy, peace, the planet of value, especially self-value, the planet of relationships, is in the sign, the nurturing sign of Cancer. This is a time to nurture yourself and to nurture others. This is a time to share your goods if you'd like, your food if you'd like, definitely your opinion. It's a time to share. Share does not mean ram down somebody's throat. Share means each and every person has input, and that input and person are respected. Mercury, the planet again of communication, is square Neptune. Mercury is a personal planet, and whenever one of the personal planets is square Neptune, we need to be careful because Neptune has its own agenda and often confuses or misleads us in ways that it does simply because it's easy to do. It's easy to do because we are believing what we're hearing and what we're seeing as opposed to investigating what we're hearing about and what we're seeing. Do not take anything at face value. Get more than one source. That's what Mercury square Neptune is saying. And it is for today, Monday, but it's also for the next 3 or 4 days because that's how aspects work. Then we move on to Wednesday. We have the full moon in Sagittarius, the sun in Gemini, the moon in Sag. And that's a great time for philosophy. It's a great time for discussion. And it's also a great time for listening. We need to listen. We need to expand our view of how we think the world is or should be. And we need to listen to what the majority of people want. It's the moon. The moon rules the public. And we need to listen. We need to communicate in a way that involves hearing as well as speaking. That's that sun in Gemini. So the philosophy of life, the public, the moon in Sagittarius, and the communicating with that public, speaking that philosophy, doesn't have to be a bad or a hard or a harsh thing. We need to work together. On Friday, the sun, the life force, the ego, pride, all of those are square, making an abrasive aspect to the moon's nodes. Now, the moon's nodes are not a planet. However, they are very important points. They literally keep us on balance as a planet, as in a part of the universe, and definitely as a species. When you have the ego in conflict with what needs to be done, you have to decide who's going to lead. Is it going to be your ego leading, or is it going to be what you know is going to work for the good of all leading? The good of all, the nodes, the sun, the ego. Watch that you don't get hot under the collar. Watch that you don't let somebody take you to a place with their thoughts, with their words, with their actions, where you lose all sense of responsibility and wind up having to pay for something that you didn't want in the first place. And then the final day, Sunday of this coming week, the planet Mars is square the planet Uranus. Mars is the planet of how we take action. Mars is the planet of conflict. Mars is the planet of making sure we do something in a way that gets the job done. Uranus, the planet that Mars is squaring, is the planet of anything can happen. It's the earthquake planet. It's the explosive planet. So Mars is also explosive. This is not a time to decide that there's only one way to do it and it's your way and you're not getting off that point. This is a time when you need to say, anything can happen now. I don't want to be responsible for anything happening. I do want to be responsible for myself and step back, stand back. The next aspect we're looking at is Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of philosophy, the planet of blessings and of luck. Jupiter is square Saturn. So Jupiter wants to expand. Saturn, the government, Saturn, bureaucracy, Saturn, the shoulds, wants to contract. So this is a time when you really need to pay attention and not let the planet Saturn that wants to contract snuff out your light, your energy, and at the same time being mindful of the fact that Mars, conflict, squaring Uranus, anything can happen. So you have to be your own diplomat, and you have to be understanding of the way the world is and is going in this time. Jupiter is a planet of great freedom. So is the planet Uranus. And both of them are asking with these squares, what are you willing to put your energy to? Will it be towards freedom? Will it be towards the noble expression of life or of your life? Or will it be towards contraction? Will it be towards unnecessary conflict? Some conflict, no matter what, is necessary. Will it be towards making sure that whatever you do, you come from a place where there will be resolution, not just back to the wall and anything goes. So this is an intense week. As I said before, this is a week that you need to watch how you're feeling as well as what you're feeling. And you need to not let those feelings dictate your actions. There is plenty enough that is calling for your actions to be, in a sense, to be without any kind of responsibility. Pay no attention to that voice. Take very good care of yourself and good care to understand that you don't have to get caught up in somebody else's slipstream. So, having said all that, I say goodbye for now until next week.